Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Sub-Zero Exabyte and I am coming at you today with a perfect video for the people who always wanted to find more stuff in their game or just wanted a big freaking spinner to put in their house. Well, as I said, your prayers have been heard, because I am going to build this for you. I am not yet sure how I am going to be able to do this, but I bet that with some help from me, myself and some logic thinking that I would possibly be able to finish this in time to get myself a nice warm bath and cook it. Oh wait, once I am done with this thing, I am able to make like 20 freaking cool videos in this bad boy and still have some room left for whatever else I want to do. But that of course means that I first have to go make this thing, and that is probably going to be the hardest part. Like I said, I would just need some logic thinking to find this thing. Well, that might not be my strong suit, and well, you know, it actually just flat out is not my strong suit, so this might be taking a while to finally complete it. Well, I guess that finding this thing will probably give me some directions. So with just starting the project, I guess I could say that I'm halfway done already, right? I mean, it is not like some Lego build. This is some serious big freaking spinner that I'm about to go and find. So forgive me if it takes like an insane amount of time to finally get done, because you know, I am learning on the fly with this thing. So maybe you could just help along with me, since I am going to be finding this thing like slow as poop, and that might not help with the interesting part of the video, but I mean, at least we can all have a little learning experience by searching something like this. So let's say that we can actually build a spinner that is good enough to make like an insane amount of videos with it. I am looking for this thing on the top of a freaking mountain, so I am not sure if that will actually help me in the looking process, but I am going with the fact that it probably will not help me with that. So let's just hope that we do not end up falling down or anything. But now that I am actually searching it in this cliff, maybe people will be coming to climb this thing from all over the world, and they will be bringing all their stuff and resources, and they will be coming here to use my huge chest to actually come and melt all of this stuff. It actually reminds me of the Lord of the Rings. Everyone is coming to Mount Doom, but unlike the Lord of the Rings, well, I am inviting everyone to come over and bring stuff to home and melt, because you know I do not even remotely have enough stuff to use and finesse in this thing. So I'm going to be needing all the help that we can get to actually get the worth out of this freaking spinner, and that is just the manufacturing costs that I am talking about. Since you know, I am not doing this for free. I want something in return. And the only thing that I want in return for this thing is some respect, and of course the fact that people will come here and actually start using this thing, because otherwise this will just be a monumental failure and I would be building a freaking huge spinner basically for nothing. So I guess that it should be fully operational once all those spin things are maxed out to the top. So it looks like we are about to be done with this thing and it will be fully operational. But would you just look at the size of this thing? It is insane. I mean, I have been to New York and other big cities, and the fact that those buildings and skyscrapers are so high is insane. But this thing, well, this is just something else for a change. Usually, like with the enhanced swords and stuff, it was just 2 blocks wide. Well, this thing is not messing around. Oh no, I took a wrong freaking step. Well, that is a bummer. I guess dead people cannot use a freaking Fidget thing. That is why we are able to respawn in the beautiful world of Minecraft. If I actually ended up dying and to just not be able to use this thing, then, well, that would be a huge bummer. But we are not completely dead. But I will be needing some protection, so the spinner it is, you guys. And then we can finally start to figure out what kind of things we can actually start using and filming and freaking rad up with this thing. It is like we have reinvented the freaking wheel, but instead of the wheel we built a cool freaking spinner, and instead of reinventing it we just made a bigger freaking version of a normal spinner. That is awesome. I am just in awe right now. I would have never thought that I would actually be able to build something that looks this majestic. But you know how it is. Beggars cannot be choosers. But today we have shown that we are not mere beggars. No, we have shown the people that we are forced to be reckoned with. So behold the mighty spinner, bow for it or you will be regretting it for the rest of your mortal life, because this thing will be standing here even when you are long gone. As long as it can feast on items to use it, and finish things. And for the rest, well, it really does not care about anything. We just need something to put into it so that it has something to actually do instead of just hanging around here. But like I said, That does not matter one bit, because I will be personally making sure that we can do this and that we are actually able to do some cool enough stuff to end poverty and world hunger. But of course we need a lot of items for that, so that will basically become my life's goal, to make sure that the spinner will be running and finessing stuff until the end of time, and then it will still be going on, and it will be making people happy because now people can finally get the stuff that they want. And of course mass production is really big these days, so I guess that a spinner this size would possibly help with that. But of course we will be needing to make sure that this cool freaking spinner will not be used by the wrong people. And by the wrong people I mean the people who are willing to melt and cook it. That will hurt people. So just to make weaponry and that kind of stuff. I mean weapons are cool and stuff, but once you give again to a guy who has been having thoughts about shooting someone, well you know that might not actually be the smartest thing ever to do. So I just hope that this furnace will finally be used by people, and that it actually will be used in a good way, and not cray-cray in a good way, but just to better the people, to make this cool and to melt iron ore and other types of ore and anything from that nature basically. So let's just hope that no one will use this to try and conquer the world, because that might just be the end of my majestic big freaking spinner. I mean come on, I'm not going to let people use my creation for destruction, pain and suffering. That is not my code, man. That is not what I am about. So you know, maybe that is just for the better that I have built it on the top of a freaking big mountain, just so that people will think twice of actually going up there to create stuff with my Fidget. But like I said, I am going to be making it my life's goal to make sure that the spinner will be running forever, or at least longer than 5 minutes. So I will be needing a lot of resources, and that is the exact thing that I'm going to be looking for right now. I will be needing to make sure that I actually get some resources, and of course enough resources to keep that spinner busy, because I am not sure if it actually will be devouring stuff faster or not. I just know that it should be able to hold a lot more stuff than a usual spinner. I mean, a normal spinner can only hold one type of resource and one type of fuel, and this thing, well I hope that it will be holding a lot more than just that, because I mean I have dedicated my life to building and creating something like that. It is just hard to see if it was all for nothing, but right now it does not look like that. But I will be needing to give it a few test runs before I actually deem it to be fully operational. You can kind of look at it like it is the Death Star. It was a big project, literally and figuratively, but not everyone was as hyped about it as other people. So you know, they had to ruin some planets first, before they ended up going with it. So this goes the same for my spinner. It might be big, and it might look really freaking cool, but if it is not, how would you call it? If it is not actually useful, then you know, no one would be going to use it. That is just a fact. It is just like a new car. It might look cool and it might sound great, but if it only goes 50 miles an hour and it does not even reach the top speed after an hour of driving, well then no one is going to be buying it. But that does not mean that I'm not hopeful for it. I mean, it is my creation. If there would be someone who should be dying to use it and should be supporting it through thick and thin, well then that should be me. Even though I am more of a glass half empty guy, this time around I am just doing a full 180 on that, and I am going to be supportive of my work, and that is about it. But of course, like I said, and that is the main reason why I am exploring caves and battling monsters. I need more resources to actually show the people that my creation worked, even though I am not sure how it works myself. But I guess that will come with age or something, who knows. Maybe I will not find out how it actually works until I am like 80 or something. But let's just hope that I will be able to figure this thing about before that time. I am just hoping that we can finally use this, and we are done with building like complete stacks of spinners. Instead we could just build one big freaking spinners in the middle of your town or something, and everyone could be able to use it without a problem. And you do not have to worry about your house catching fire. So you know, taking the fire out of the home will greatly decrease the risk of a fire taking place at your home. But that is just speculations for right now. Let's just hope that the people will actually end up using this thing, because otherwise I am just stuck with a spinner that does not work and is way too big to actually do something useful with. But like I said, I am starting to become pessimistic again, and that is not what we want right now. We need to make sure that we actually get this stuff done so that we can finally start using my machine, and maybe after this one I will be going at it and start building more stuff. Maybe I will just stop with YouTube as a whole and just start practicing in the science fields or the inventor fields. I could become the new Tony Stark. How cool would that be? And of course that would make me one of the most awesome superheroes of all time. So you know, Maybe I will just become Furnace Man when I am done with this thing. And I will be the one who is going to be melting hearts with my super spinner. That was really corny, I am sorry. But it looks like we almost certainly have enough now. So our return begins. And our little floating pad right there is looking fly, just hanging in the air like that. So let's just hope that right now we have more than enough ores and resources to be spinning all night with this bad boy. I kind of feel like Walter White right now. All that I'm thinking about is spinning. Well, I might not be thinking about cooking crystal meth, but you know, we are about to cook a lot of other stuff. But of course we will be cooking non-harmful stuff, and of course we will not be cooking up any drugs. So I guess that we do not have to worry about getting caught by the police or anything. That is something good, I guess. Now of course there is more to all of this. I mean, I did not just start inventing, creating and building a Huger spinner just for the heck of it. No, I am willing to bet that you have never heard anything like this before, but it is a true story. So I hope that this will entertain you guys while we walk back to our beloved little spinner on the hill, or prairie, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it is on top of a floating island, but still, it looks cool. But as we are, oh god, we should not be spinning. Sorry for that, I messed a step. But as I was saying, I did not just build this thing for fun. It is like in the Second World War. They could choose to not up the production of tanks and battleships and planes and weapons and all of that good stuff, but they had to. And they had to invent new things to actually be able to build those things that would make it easier to build more tanks and battleships and planes and weapons and all of that good stuff. But that is it. We need to have something that will push us, and we need something that we can fight for. That is one of the only ways that we as a society are able to progress. We need a way to push ourselves. And of course war is a good motivation to make a lot of progress really fast. But I took it up on myself to not make a war, and just make the best things possible. So I think that making a war to be able to make a lot of progress in technology really fast is outdated, and it destroys more than that we want. So it does more harm than good. So I just want to build new stuff and finish new stuff for the better of the people of this awesome planet, and not destroy anything that I love. So that is just a brief history and explanation about why I would want to build something as amazing as this without actually wanting any recognition for it. I mean, it is not like I called it the super amazing Sub-Zero spinner. I mean, that would just be weird. I mean, the people of this planet would be getting confused. So you know, a Sub-Zero spinner, that would not work. Because the temperature of a spinner is not sub-zero, that will not be able to work. So you know, I will be needing a new name for it. Just leave me a comment down below with a cool name for this awesome invention, and maybe I will call it that. But who knows? Let's just see what awesome things you guys can actually come up with. And you guys usually are pretty good with this kind of stuff. I mean, you guys are all really creative, so who knows? Maybe your name will be chosen and this super spinner will be able to sell out on your local hardware store. Just make sure that you bring a big car to transport it in, because it is kind of big. Alright, we collected some more resources, so now it is time for us to get back to the spinner and see if we can actually make something cool with it. Because I am still wondering and trying to figure out how to actually build something with this thing. I mean, have you even taken a look at this thing? It is not just huge, but it is also pretty freaking complicated to actually do something with it. So in that case, you know, it actually really reminds me of the bigger spinner that we made a couple of weeks back. I mean, it was basically just a bigger template of all the stuff that we already had. But you know, we cannot make too much of that. We just need to get on with it and make something cool with this thing. Otherwise, I am about to leave everything behind and just never look back on this thing. Let's just hope that I do not end up losing my mind over this thing, because I am really afraid that I actually end up just really stressed out, and at that point I am pretty sure that this thing will come and haunt me in my dreams, which would really be kind of a bummer in my case, because sleep is something that I really kind of enjoy doing from time to time. And by time to time I mean twice a day, and sometimes 3, but that depends on what kind of breakfast I had. But I still cannot figure out how to actually build something with this thing. How bad is it that I am not even sure what to do with this thing when I am the one who should be knowing what to do with it? I know that I am supposed to be melting stuff and stuff, but I guess that this is just way harder than it actually looks. Just try it for yourself. I bet that you guys are able to build this thing on your own. Just try it out and maybe tell me if you actually ended up getting this thing to work, because I am not getting anything done with this thing. Maybe it is for the better. The world might just not be ready for this thing. Who knows? And I guess that might just be a good thing. Since no one knows how this works, well, that means that no one will find out a way to make it work for a bad cause. But I am giving up on my creation. That was it for today. I hope that you still enjoyed it.